Earlier we discussed about basically operator overloading is a part of polymorphism. You can also say operator polymorphism.
Yes, sir.
So basically we already discussed about the polymorphism is divided into two sections in C++, that is compile time and run time. Any binding occur at the time of compilation of program or binding occur at the time of execution of the program. So in case of runtime polymorphism, binding occur at the time of execution of the program. Under runtime polymorphism, we already discussed about the virtual function, pure virtual function. Earlier, under compile time polymorphism, we discussed the function polymorphism or function overloading. That compile time is the early binding, or you can say static binding also. And the runtime is the late binding or dynamic binding also. So under compile time polymorphism, we discussed the function overloading as well as today. Yes. Binding, yes. Binding means your program bind with the particular set of procedures. Okay, in the form of method or data. So here function overloading and operator overloading, two different types of binding occur. Static binding. Both are under compile time polymorphism. So when we discuss the polymorphism, that means the name is poly and morphism. These two words are making the polymorphism. Poly means many, morphism means form. In graphics also we discuss about the morphing. So morphism means many forms. So we have many forms whenever we discuss polymorphism. So this is the one of features of object-oriented programming in which we have one name in many forms. And we are using same name in different places or different locations. That means that name may be the part of the particular program in different manner. Now in function overloading we already discussed, if we have a function name which is used differently on the basis of number of argument and data type. That means number of argument, whenever you are taking function parameter inside the function, then whenever you are taking two argument, that is the two number of argument. Whenever you are using three argument, that means your compiler take decision by checking how many arguments you are passing to the particular function. That is one basis in function overloading. Another basis is what? At the same time, compiler check what types of data type used by the user for the particular argument. So we have several functions, and in each function the compiler take decision on the basis of that number of argument and data type.
Yes.
Whenever you are passing any object, whenever you are passing any parameter, then first of all the compiler check how many parameter you are passing. Is there any function available with that sort of parameter? Means if you are passing three parameter, so compiler check whether three parameter function is declared and defined main program or not. If there is no any program, then compiler is not capable to allocate the parameter to the particular function. Then after compiler check, whatever parameter you are checking, whatever parameter you are passing as an actual argument, whether the same parameter, whether the same data type is of the particular argument is allocated in the function defined in the main program. If it is, then the particular part of the program get executed for that set of data. Suppose if you are taking two parameters and both are of integer type,
Yes.
then in function overloading what we are doing, the compiler select that function in which two parameters is there. At the same time, whether compiler also check whether that two parameter is integer or any other. If the both parameters is integer, that function is only selected for processing point of view. If the particular function consists of only float, so your compiler just check whether any function is available having both float data type. Number of argument is 2, but at the same time both argument is of float data type, because user passes the data in the form of float data type.
Yes.
At the same time user passes data in integer and float also. So whenever user passes the data in the form of integer and float, then compiler just check whether there is two any function available where the number of argument is 2, first of all. Then second, whether any function is available in which first parameter is integer, second parameter is float. Then after, the particular function is gets selected and execution is over. But there is some, what is the major problem in function overloading? What do you think? What is the major problem and how this problem is sorted out in C++? Later on we had to discuss a template also.
Yes.
Template. So what is the major problem here? Because you have to notify, you have to mention each and every function in your program according to user. And the user view cannot be delimited because user may want 4 parameter, user may want 5 parameter, user may want all parameter of same data type, user may want of mixed data type. So you have to consider each and every types of function to execute the process. That is the major challenge. How we can overcome this problem? By the template. In template we are using float, we are using. If there is any types of parameter which works for any types of print data type. In case of template, we are using template parameter, and that template parameter works for any print data type. That means if user passes integer, then that template parameter works for integer. If user passes float, then that same template parameter works for float. That is not only in function. In class also the same problem exists.
Yes.
Whenever you are declaring data member of class, then you are bounded to pass that data type, that value only which is declared under class. That means if you are declaring data member inside the class integer, then you are bounded to pass the data only in integer form. That is also one of the major problem.
Yes,
if
sir.
you are declaring data member as a float, then you have to pass that data member as a float in the main function.
Yes,
if the data member is character, then you have to pass character data type. In like a function in class template class also, whenever we introduce class template, when we discuss template, after discussion of this, then that problem is also overcome. In place of generic data type, in place of printed data type, we just use template parameter.
Yes.
So whenever you declare data member of the class as a template parameter, then whatever data type value you are passing through the main function, that template parameter copy that work that particular data parameter. Means if you are passing integer, then that template parameter works for integer. If you are passing character, then the same template parameter works for character.
Yes.
That means no need to maintain several signature. Now, in case of function overloading, which is already discussed, you have to think about various signature on the basis of number of argument and data type. That is the major problem. And still you are not getting the solution because you cannot delimit the way of thinking of the user. Because up to a certain point of view, your thinking is stopped and your thinking is initiated. Means you think that the user thought about 2 data type, 2 number of argument, 3 or number of maximum 4. But user may vary their choice. User want to use 5 number of argument. But there is no option available in your program for handling 5 number of argument. That is the biggest problem.
Yes, sir.
Once we replace the template for the function overloading, we have a solution in the form of template parameter, which is used to handle any types of data inside the program, not in a function only, in class also. In class also we can use class data member as a template data member, template parameter. Then there is no any bounding occur in the case of main program where we have to write various types of data type. Now, in function overloading, we are using the same name of function number of times, and that function is separated by the compiler on the basis of number of argument and data type. Now, as like a function overloading, in constructor also you are doing the same.
Yes.
How we can overload the constructor, because constructor is also a special type of member function. Then how we can overload the constructor member function? Whenever we use all type of constructor at the same time, because the name of the constructor remains same, only the parameter remain unchanged. In case of default constructor, there is no parameter. In case of parameterized constructor, we are passing parameter. In case of copy constructor, we are passing object as a parameter. Only parameter change, number of argument change. On the basis of that, we can overload constructor function also, because it is also a function. So function overloading is counted. Now we think about the operator overloading, which exists in C++ only. In Java, we cannot overload the operator. Operator overloading, that means what? Whenever we want to overload any operator. Now, what is the meaning of this? Whenever you want to use the same operator number of times. Whenever you use the same operator number of times, the result varies.
Yes, sir.
Suppose if you think about the increment operator. Now we also discuss, we are handling the operator along with two operators. That means we are handling the unary operator as well as binary operator. So whenever the operator is preceded with a single operator, it is the unary operator. Whenever the operator is used along with the two operand, it becomes binary operator. That means minus is used in both manner. Whenever you declare any negative value, then that minus is preceded that negative value. And whenever you perform subtraction job, then that same minus is used to place in between the two operand in the form of manuend and subtrahend. That means A minus B. In A minus B, minus is used as a binary operator, and whenever you are writing minus A to treat that A as a negative value. So whenever you want to treat any value or any constant as a negative value, then you just precede that value with the minus sign. So we just discussed the operator overloading for unary operator as well as binary operator. Now, have you a concept of friend function?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes. Now in this case, friend function works. We are same function name number of times on the basis of number of argument data type. So what is the need of overloading operator? Whenever we want to use the operator number of times, then without changing the features and characteristics of that operator, we can use the same operator. Just imagine whenever you are adding 10 numbers or 20 numbers, different numbers on the calculator. The network is not supported. Now connect. Now first of all, now in each pass the result is not same. Result is varied. So if you are overloading any unary operator, like by using unary minus content, suppose, then at the same time, whether there is one content, two content, or n content available in the object. Suppose this is the class, and inside the class, I want to update, I want to give a reward. So you all are the object. Yes. You say that this is the array of object, and I want to promote the value of the particular object by 1. Then there is no need to move the particular data one by one. At the same time, if we all the value by 1, then again we the decrement operator on the object. So whenever we place, then directly unary operator is applied over there. But if we want to customize, this means in form of 1 and decrementation by 1 or incrementation by 1. If we want to decrement all by factor of 5, if we want to decrement all by factor of 4, then there is a need of additional friend function, because now along with object we have to introduce some integer value also, because in this case only unary operator is not fulfill our desire. Because in case of unary operator, at a time either we increment 1 or increment 1, but we can't increment 2 or 3 or any customized value. For customization point of view, we need that friend function. First of all, we just see the syntax. What is the syntax of operator overloading? So, first of all, there is a class, that is the class name. Whatever class name we have just mentioned here. There is a private section. or if you do not mention private, still it is private. You just declare data member here, then public. Under public, there is member function, and here we have operator.
We also take members.
Yes.
In the public section, we also take a member variable.
Member variable. You want to make data as a public, declared as under public section.
Yes.
No need. If you declare it, that there is no issue. But most probably we declare data under private section just to hide the data with the outer world. So we just disclose the member function. We just declare the member function under public section because we want to access the data indirectly through that member function outside of the class. So whenever we access the member function through the object of the same class in the main function, your data member is indirectly accessed. Operator is the keyword, operator symbol, and if any parameter, then the parameter and argument, otherwise no need to write here. Data type, argument. If there is more than one argument, then it is separated by comma. That is argument 1, argument 2. We are using now. Before that, we write the return type of the function. Whatever return type you have, if you want to return something from this operator function, then you just place the data type of that returning statement. If you do not want to return anything, just place void here. Operator is the keyword. It is a reserved word. You do not have to change this operator keyword. In all types of overloading, operator overloading, we use the same keyword operator. Now the operator symbol. Your operator may be unary, binary, any operator. So we just place out the symbol here because by that symbol, the object use that operator. And if any data or any argument is needed, then only we just place argument along with the data type and give the definition of the function inside the class. There is a provision to define this operator function outside of the class also, as like the member function you define outside of the class. In the same manner, like in the definition outside of the class, you just declare it the prototype here, and outside of the class, you just give the definition. In definition, first of all, you write the return type, then after class name, then a scope resolution of that, and then whatever function name we have. Okay. Now the structure is clear.
Yes, sir.
In this structure, only this section is new for you. This section is new for you. The rest of the section you already used whenever you are writing program.
Yes, sir.
Return type, operator symbol, data type if there is any argument, and whatever body you want to define or declare for the particular operator. Now,
First you define this operator.
I just give you the definition. First, understand the concept. Definition is everywhere. Okay. Are you noted? ARG parameter. जिस ऑपरेटर का ओवरलोड करना है, जिस ऑपरेटर को आपको ओवरलोड करना है, उसका ऑपरेटर सिंबल होगा. ठीक है. जिस ऑपरेटर को ओवरलोड करना है उसका ऑपरेटर सिंबल. ऑपरेटर कीवर्ड आपका स्टैटिक वर्ड है. टाइप मींस अगर ऑपरेटर फंक्शन जिस क्लियर है, अगर इंटीजर रिटर्न हो रहा है तो इंटीजर, फ्लोट हो रहा है तो फ्लोट. Now this is one of the way to use operator function, because here we are declaring the operator function under public section, and this is not friend function. This operator function is not a friend function because it is not preceded with friend keyword. There is another way. Now basically your operator may be unary or binary. Now what is basic difference between unary and binary? Unary means the operator is preceded with a single operand, and binary whenever the operator is placed in between two operands. Binary means two operand, unary means single operand. That means under unary we just discussed the plus plus, minus minus and minus, because minus is unary as well as binary also. Because whenever we have to represent any negative value, we just precede that value negative sign. It is plus, but 1 to did 13 minus, your minus is used as a unary operator to represent any negative value. And whenever you want the negative value, just you place the minus sign before the before that particular value. In case of binary, whatever arithmetic operator we have, plus, multiplication, division, all is used along with two operands. You cannot imagine plus with single operand. You cannot imagine multiplication with, then product operation always exists in between two operands. Okay. Now we just deal one problem to allocate how we use this one. Just write one problem, write a program to overload unary operator, because this is limited. Write a program to overload unary operator. So before writing program, you think about what is the operator function for this overloading. So what is the operator function? The operator function may be for plus plus. Here we write the body as per requirement of the program. For minus minus, we have operator minus minus. For negative, we have a. That means if you do not want to return anything, we place void here. Now, this section is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Whenever you have to write operator function or any operator, that is the unary operator, we just discuss all the three ordinary operator at a time. So we just place the return type of that operator function. If you do not want to return anything, just place void here. Operator is your keyboard, plus plus is your operator symbol, and we do not want to enclose any parameter, we do not want to use any parameter, we just leave it blank. And body as per the requirement of the program, whatever program you have in which you have to enhance.
What does it mean return?
Return means if any set of operation you perform inside the operator function want to return any to the main program. If you want to return any set of results to the main function, we just take the example. Whenever you perform addition operation, then after performing addition operation, you want to return the result somewhere, because you have an option to use return or without use return statement also. Because whenever we discuss the function, we have four way of representation of function on the basis of parameter and return.
Yes, sir.
So, in which section you consider actual or formal? Whenever there is a parameter. Yani, whenever there is a parameter, whenever there is argument, you think about call by value, call by reference, or call by address. These types of calling of function exist for parameters. Whenever you are taking parameter in the function only. Whenever you are taking parameter, no need of call by value, call by reference, call by address, because there is no concept of actual and formal parameter. Concept of actual and formal exists only whenever you are introducing parameter in the function. Here, no calling of function is there. Only the entire section of the program is called whenever the particular operator is called. Now, the body of the operator function is decided on the basis of the requirement of the program. Suppose, simple, we just take the program like class, there is a class A, consists of data A and B. That means any object of this class consists of two data, that is in the form of AB. So whenever we want to modify the contents, then for each object of that class, we have to modify the contents of whatever value of AB for that object we have. So if we want to enhance the set of data member, then all the set of data member is for each object of the same class. That means right now the object consists of only two data member, A and B. So whatever value of AB is of the particular object, that is modified whenever the particular operator is called along with that object. Means if plus plus is called, then whatever value of AB is for the particular object, it is incremented by factor of 1. Whenever minus minus is called, the whatever value of AB for the particular object is decremented by factor of 1. Whenever this minus is called, whatever value of AB we have for the particular object, that is negate. That means it is preceded with minus sign. If it is positive, it becomes negative. If it is negative, it becomes positive, because minus minus plus. If you have D value, you call the object and you call this minus, then all the negative value positive value. So that is the functioning we perform. Now here we are taking AB. Now first of all, to apply anything, we need a list, we need a value. Once we have a value, suppose this is the classroom, you are the object of this class.
Yes.
Once the object is allocated here, then after we take decision or perform any operation on the set of object. So first of all, for AB, either you use constructor or any general function to take the input for this. So we just take constructor. Enter to number, enter to value, or because we have to use parameterized constructor also, just to take the parameter, we just initialize, use here default constructor, and here we initialize A equal to 0 and B equal to 0. Initially, whenever no parameter is passed, then the value of A and B is 0 stated, and whenever then A become M and B become N. That means whenever you are passing the value for AB from the main, then A and B both are assigned by that particular value. So this is the parameterized constructor, this is the default constructor. Now the overloading of function is also here. Constructor overloading is also occur because we are using two types of constructor. One function having no parameter, another function having two parameters. So on the basis of parameter, these two functions is also overloaded. Now after that, we think about the operator function. Now in three different manners we want to overload the contents of object. Either by incrementing the factor by 1 or decrementing the factor by 1, or negate the particular value. If it is positive, then negate negative. If it is negative, then positive. Then we just think about this operator. After writing this, we think about this operator plus, and what types of changes occur inside this operator function. Just see. We have two value AB. Now we have to use that plus plus to increment the value of this object by a factor of 1. So whatever value of AB we have, we want to enhance the value by factor of 1 by the help of this unary plus plus operator. So what types of body we have to generate here? We have to generate here plus plus A plus plus B, because we have only two data member. So when we write plus plus A, that means A is incremented by factor of 1, B is incremented by factor of 1. We do the same in this case also. Minus minus A. And what about minus?
So
Yes, we just write, we assigned minus A to A, minus B to B. So if your A is negative, then it become positive. If it is positive, then it becomes negative. That means we are assigning A with minus A, we are assigning B with minus B. That means if B is minus, then minus minus plus. Positive B is assigned here. If A is positive, then plus minus minus negative value of A is represented. So it totally depends on the value of AB, whatever value of AB we have. Now after writing these three operator function in the same program, we can concurrently use in the main. Now there is need to see the status of AB each time whenever we are overloading the particular object by the specific operator function. So for that reason, we just introduce here one operator, one display function like void display. In display function, we just want to display the contents of A. The class completed. Inside the class there is a data member. Two data member is there, AB. Under public we have two constructor. One is the default constructor. If we do not pass any parameter, then by default AB is 0. So if we apply any types of operator function along with that object, so either incrementation, decrementation occur on the basis of the value of A and B, that is 0. AB का जो value है 0 के basis पर यहाँ पर होगा. यहाँ पर in this particular section int mn, that means whatever value comes from the main, that is assigned to the variable mn, is assigned to A, n is assigned to B. Now up to this your assignment operator work. After this you think about the operator overloading, and whether you want to overload the particular object by plus plus, minus minus or minus, and whatever changes occur after overloading the operator, you just call this disk function to see the status of AB, what types of changing occur whenever the particular operator overloading is completed. Now this one is completed. Now what is the main? Let's see here. Main is inside main we have to declare object. Suppose we declare object 1213. That means we are assigning the value for mn in the form of 1213. In place of 1213 you can take user input also. Here we are taking constant value, you can take user input also, and on the basis of that input just pass the value for this two parameter. So whenever you are passing 1213, 1213 is assigned to the mn respectively. So m is assigned to A and n is assigned to B. That means A contains 12 and B contains 13. So after declaration, when you want to see the status, you just write here of obj dot disk. So one time call the disk function to see what is the value of A and what is the value of B. So after calling disk along with the object of the class A, the value for AB is displayed in the form of 12 and 13 as per the disk function we have, and as per the format we declare inside the disk function. Now after that we think about the overloading. That means right now A contains 12 and B contains 13. Now we want to increment the content of the object by factor of 1. So what we have to do, we just write here plus plus obj. Okay, plus plus obj, because obj is the object. Obj, whenever we precede this obj with plus plus, that means we are using unary operator overloading, because single operand is used along with this operator. So after writing plus plus obj, whatever contents exist in the object, that obj object, that contents is incremented by factor of 1. Here in this example we are taking two data member AB. So both the contents is incremented by factor of 1. So right now what is the value of AB you have? A is 12 and B is 13. So after calling of this plus plus operator function, whenever you want to see the status key, what is the effect occur on the value of the content of object, then we just call again here obj dot This. So whenever you called obj.this, that means what?
13 and 14.
Now your A become 13 and B become 14. So you can do this number of times. Suppose after this you can display, and after that again you are using same number of times. In all calling, your contents of the particular object is enhanced, and after that when and further you use this minus minus, and after accessing the particular operator function 2 or more than 3 times, we just use minus minus obj just to see the effect in each pass whether the result remains same. Then whenever you use minus minus obj,
It is decremented by 1.
it is, yes, it is decremented by factor of 1
From current status.
according as per the current status. That means up to previous one, whatever status, whatever value for AB we have, on the basis of that value your value is decremented here. That means if it is, suppose here it is 13 14, then here 14 15, here 15 16, here 13 14, here 14 15, here 15 16, then 15 16, that means 14 15, and after that you want to negate it. Whenever you place minus sign before the object, your content is negative. That means if the value of AB is positive, it become negative. If the value of A is negative, it become positive. So that's our class is there.
Sir,